Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here once again today, and happy Friday to you all. I hope you all are doing good, TGIF, and let's get ready for this pending blizzard or snow. I don't know if it's going to happen, but they keep talking about it on the radio. So make sure you have plenty of water and food and the things that you need just in case it does happen. And I hope the power doesn't go out. But anyway, we'll see what happens, right? It's supposed to happen on Sunday. Well, once again, I hope you guys are sharing these videos. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Now, the other thing I want to say to everyone here, not a this is a no judgment zone here on this channel. We're here to help everyone, including myself. I get help when I hear your comments as well, so thank you all. And also, even though the main topic of discussion is healing, grief, etc., there's also other areas that we need to heal in our life. Anything that has to do with trauma can cause depression, anxiety, and anything like that. So we also have to heal those things as well. So today the topic of discussion is be careful who you trust, because who you trust, sometimes if you trust the wrong person, it could bring traumatic experiences in your life, and we're going to talk about that today. When I think about this topic, and as I was preparing an outline for it real early this morning, I thought about this song from the 80s called Dollar Bill. And for those who go way back when, you know what I'm talking about, this song from the 80s called Dollar Bill. And it just, if you listen to the words, people do anything for money, and that's what I'm noticing in the world we live in. They lie, still cheat, whatever they got to do. And the reason why I'm speaking about this is because this is also can be a traumatic experience. And I'm talking about con artists who will do the worst and the most to set you up for failure. There's so many kind artists out there, who don't want to work, take care of themselves, and do things the correct way. They want to con people out of their hard earned money. And we're going to talk about that here today because that's important. People need to know how to protect themselves against this. Be careful who you trust today because there's so many vultures out there, and they'll say and do anything to put your money into their pockets. And this is what we're going to talk about. I have a few outlines here, so bear with me, but this is so important. So to start off, make sure that your intentions and everything that you do are pure, and all that you do, because as you go in front of God in prayer, he and lift these burdens up to him, just make sure everything you do have pure intentions behind it, and God will be there, and you will receive his protection, and he will guide you through these things. And I'm talking about this because something that happened yesterday. It's been going on for a couple of weeks now, and before I get into it, I want to talk about, my mom. When I was growing up, I learned a lot of things from my mom. However, I didn't listen the way I should have. I thought about it as that Charlie Brown cartoon with the adults going wah 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 wah, that kind of thing. And I noticed it's still stuck in my subconscious because I'm following a lot of things that she said, and I'm seeing things um, with a different perspective today. I learned a lot about from my mom about making impulsive decisions, which I've done for a long time, guys. I would say, "Oh yeah, sure. Okay, you want to go here? Let's do that. Let's purchase this. Let's do, just impulsive decisions." Um, if someone contacted me about something I'm not familiar with, okay, yeah, let's do it. And those types of decisions can create traumatic experiences in your life. I really wish that I have listened to my mom sooner than later, and I would avoid a lot of issues that occurred in my past. However, understand today that there were lessons that I had to learn on my own through trial and error. Because when you learn the lessons on your own, you get it. Your parents, your siblings, and friends can tell you A, B, C, and D. But when you learn these experiences on your own through trial and error, you don't want that will to spend again. And you have to go back and learn that lesson. Because if you don't learn it, the first time, the second time is going to be worse, and the third time, forget it. You know. So I said all of this to talk about. I don't know if many of you may not know, but I'm a published author and I write romance novels. And I just completed my third book. It's not published yet. However, I have the manuscript, etc. Right. So my second book, I've been getting an offer from this so-called company, which I'm not going to mention here. But the company is offering, sent me an email with a contract for me to sign so that they can buy the rights of my book, right? And I'm looking at this, the old Lisa and the old person I was before I started healing and working on myself, I would have jumped on that because usually with emails that I get that are cons, it's usually misspelled words, etc., so forth, right? But this wasn't. It was done very professionally, very strategic, offering the things, of course, that I would say yes to if it was a real deal. And I went through it, but my intuitive was saying, you got to check this out. You got to check this out because something doesn't feel quite right. And the person who sent it started calling me and talking to me and etc. So what I did, I went into prayer over it for a few days and asked God to help me with this. And so what I decided to do at the end is to contact my attorney. I have an attorney. It's important, rather, I'm going to say it this way, that we have an attorney for every category in our life, and it doesn't have to be expensive. So I called one of my attorneys about this. And I told them what the situation was. I was advised to send that email to them. And thank God I did. Because at the end of the day, I received an email from him about, and I love this attorney because not only did he tell me this was a scam, he broke it down step by step, what should have been in this offer and everything that wasn't there. And he went on to explain about these types of scams and situations and how to, in the future, verify these things. And had I not done that and I would have accepted or whatever, I could have set myself up for failure because this is what these individuals behind the scene was trying to do, set me up for failure. But like I said, I no longer am the Lisa who make impulsive decisions with anything that I do. I take my time. I don't care if it's a relationship, if it's business, and it's something with contracts and signatures and offers and etc. I have to have an attorney involved with that, and with relationships, I take my time and, to see if a person, what their intentions are. Are their intentions pure or do they have other negative motives? And I look at all that, and that's why I take my time. And I talk about this a lot because if you just do things impulsively, it can backfire and cause traumatic experiences in your life. Like if I would have just jumped on this, because there was a contract, everything was laid out. There was two telephone conversations about this, but something didn't feel right. And I said, I have to talk to my attorney. And after going into prayer, I asked God, how do I handle this? Because I don't want to make a mistake here. And the next step was to contact the attorney who specialized in these type of offers. And he got back to me at the end of the day, and I love the way he broke down every step of the email as well as that contract. And I'm talking about this today because it's important that we read the fine print, the fine line, and everything else when we're signing off on documents, important documents, whatever we're doing, because, sometimes it's like there's something somewhere written within the paperwork or contract that you don't see. And that's why sometimes it's important to have another set of eyes, to see what these things are about. And I jumped up and down with joy because then, um, as I was reviewing this, I got a phone call from this person, and I broke it down to them, about my attorney reviewing this information. And he was so tongue twisted, he started stuttering. And I said, "You have a good day. Goodbye." There's no need for me to be out of character or angry or whatever because it was caught in time, And this is how I live my life now. And I take my time with things. And if somebody got some con going, or some, let's say, um, if someone has impure intentions, they're not going to stick around for you. Let's say you're dating someone, right? And you're trying to get to know that person and blah, blah. Somebody who has negative intentions is not going to stick around and allow you to take your time. Many of them, anyway. They're not going to sit around because they want to get in and get out, whatever kind they have. And Whoopi Goldberg, for a long time, hosted this show on ABC, I think it was, called The Con. And I watched a few episodes of that. And I said, oh my God, these women need to educate themselves before they jump into these relationships. And these men were getting in relationships with women who were recent widow, widows. Sorry, guys. And, they were lonely. And, some of these women were married 20, 30 years and lost their spouse. And they jump into these relationships, and these con artists are good. They know how to play the game real well, and there's many players in this con game, and they know how to play they can play people like an instrument. They know what to say, how to charm them, and etc. And so everything I do, I take my time. And it's just like not too long ago, someone wanted to date and stuff. And I was taking too much time for them. Yeah, because I'm a busy person right now. I have a busy schedule. I don't mind dating, but I will take my time. And when I take my time, and when somebody got a game that they running, they don't want that. They want you to rush in and make an impulsive decision, and why are we rushing this? And I have been through so much in my life that now I know I take my time. If they don't want that, then they don't want to deal with me, because I'm not going to do anything different, and the dates that I go on is going to be fun dates, doing fun things and etc. And then build up naturally to whatever it's going to be, if anything, instead of all the other stuff. Because I've been through that. People, I've been through so much. I could tell you stories that make your head spin, and I'm learning lessons. It's important because if I don't learn a lesson, and like I said, some lessons I had to repeat even 3 times. The third time, it's just out of control. It's so painful and so hurtful that I don't want to go through that again. So I learn lessons quickly. Now I research things, find out more information before I jump, And I'm sharing this information today because this is all part of healing as well. Because if you get taken in by a con artist, that's a traumatic experience, especially if you gave somebody all of your money, your life savings or whatever. Like in a show that I was watching, one woman had saved up. I don't know if she had, her husband passed away. So whatever she had, she gave this man $100,000 of her money. And this man, because she thought he was going to be around for some fake investment. And here's the thing that really, I mean, she could have really died. I thought she was going to have a heart attack because in the middle of the night, something kicked in and she went to call him. I guess her intuition kicked in and she went to call him. And she got this voicemail that says this number is out of service. How does it go? This number is no longer in service. No further information about this. And she knew he was gone. She went to his place, his so-called place of employment. He was gone. He had her money. He was gone. So things like this can really put you into a trauma situation. Be careful with business. Be careful of every aspect of your life. When you get on this journey to heal, especially when you're going through grief and other areas of your life to heal, take time out for yourself. And when you pray, ask God to help you to see things as they are, to see behind the mask that a lot of people are wearing. Because these kind artists, they know what to say, they know what to do. And in this particular situation, I was looking at this, there was no errors, it was professional, it was A, B, C, and D, but it wasn't real. It was a con. And so my attorney just broke everything down, showing me step by step why it was a con. And in the future, if you get something, this is what you need to look for: A, B, C, and D. And if that's not implemented, then something is not right. And that's the message I want to share today, where everyone, be careful who you trust. Be careful who you do business with. Be careful who you allow in your space, in your home, in your life. Because people are, they would, some of these con artists will play any kind of game to take what's yours. And it doesn't have to necessarily be money. They can come into your life, befriend you, pretend they're your friend, etc., and so forth, so that they can take whatever you got. And you don't have to have a whole lot. Whatever you got that they don't have, they want to take. And if they, some people are just snakes, and this is why it's important to get to know people, get to know, even on a business level, get to, have a second set of eyes, and an attorney or somebody who's used to dealing with those type of situations, so that you can get more insight on a matter before you make a decision that can bring chaos into your life. So all these things I talk about is, to help others, because I've been through it in the past. This was a while back before I had my son, and I was working in New York because I'm originally from New York. And this con game that they were running, it was huge, it was big. They took my entire money, all of it. And I mean, they took, well, let me put it this way: they took about $500 of my money, and at that time, and I was devastated. And it was hard, but I'm going to tell you how God works miracles. I reported it and blah, blah. And we're talking about something that happened. Wow. I don't even know how long ago. I was a lot younger. It was before I had my son. But the money that they took, and I'm like, oh my God. And it's just, I was devastated for a long time. It got replaced. This is what I mean about God, because I reported it and what happened in a situation, because it was, an online scam thing. And and it went on and on, and I got my money back and then some, and it's like, because there's a hotline that's set up for that, and they did a trace and an investigation and found out this was done to like 100 other people, etc. And this is what I'm talking about how God worked. And I didn't expect that. And when I received my money back, I was jumping up and down and praying to God, praising him, because only God can do something like that. Because 9 times out of 10, when these type of situations happen, you don't get any money back. 9 times out of 10, you don't, they can't even trace who did this. So just be careful, people. And I'm talking about this too, because when you're going through grief and you're trying to heal and you are not focusing on anything else but your healing, you have to take care of yourself in regards of these matters as well. And if you're not up to, making a decision, you don't have to at that time. Take your time so that you don't get wrapped up in a con and someone take from you. It could anything. They could try to take property, whatever you have that they don't have and they feel that they're entitled to. Because these con artists think they're entitled to what's yours and what you work hard for. Be careful out there. Take care of yourself in every aspect of your life. And once again, before I leave today, because that is the message, please connect. If you're in a place of trauma, pain, grief, depression, please, whatever state you're watching these videos from, connect to a grief therapist. I talk to a therapist every week. I have a therapist that I still interact with. It's so important, people. Connect with a therapist and find one that you connect with well, that you vibe well with, and attend bereavement groups, support groups, because you can do this online as well, instead of in person if you don't feel comfortable doing so in person, because you're going to hear a lot of information on how to effectively get through this process. We never get over the pain, but we get through it. A lot of things in life are learning experiences. And once we learn the lesson, then we don't have to repeat them, which is a whole lot worse when it comes back around. So that's the message today. Please share this video with other people. People need to know how to protect themselves, especially older people who, are getting getting approached with kinds and situation. Always check and find out before you give anything to anybody. That's the message today. Thank you for being here. This is Lisa, always shedding love and light. Also, keep in mind that I'm not a certified social worker or a therapist of any sort. I'm just someone who have been through so much grief, pain, etc. And I'm just sharing effective ways with you to get through it. And that's the message. And you guys have a great weekend. And I will be back on Monday with a new message and video. Please hit the subscribe button, share the video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye for now. Thank you for being here, everyone. I appreciate your support.